Superb. So you don't need to worry, everybody, about taking notes because you can watch the recording again. Okay, I will go through where to find all the content of these meetings, but also everything that you're going to see today is in your workbooks, in your module workbooks that are online. Okay, so once you have registered, just to quickly recap how the process works. Once you registered, you create a username and password for yourself. You get an email from us, from Spa Professionals Guild. You create a username and password, and that takes you into your into the site, right? And in there, you would go into business management course, and you start on module 1 and you work your way through. Okay. What I'm doing today is there's a lot of you that want to begin all over again. Some of you that have been doing this that just want to retouch on some of the information. We are officially going to start with all the newbies that are on this call today on Tuesday next week. The reason I wanted you to get onto this call today is so that you can get an idea of what's going to happen on Tuesday, and also to get you quite excited because the tools in module 2 are super exciting. Like, I cannot explain how awesome they are. And in fact, Nicole, are you on the call? Nicole from Sherbet Angel. Why do I think I saw her earlier on? Are you on, Nicole? No, she's not. Okay. Because Nicole has implemented so many of these tools of module 2 and seen some unbelievable results with her team. Okay. So just to quickly take you through some, hi, Nicole, why didn't I see your name? Okay, so Nicole, I'm going to ask you to comment as we go through some of the tasks. Oh, sorry, I couldn't unmute. Okay, so Nicole, if you just don't mind, I'll either ask you to unmute or you can go in the chat box as you see the tasks, because I know which ones have made a huge impact in your business, just to share it with everybody else to get them a little bit more excited, and more importantly for me is speed of implementation. I don't want everybody to dawdle on this information because it's not going to do anything for you if it's sitting and not being put into practice. You need to take these tools and hurry up and get them implemented in your business. Okay, right. So first of all, I want to take you through the different areas that you should already be a member of or part of, because you get a lot of information and tools from us. So the first one is Spa Professionals Guild. You can see the page in front of you. It's on Facebook. Please make sure that you like this page. So if you have your phone next to you, take your phone out, go find this page and go like it now so that you don't forget to do it later on. All right. And in all these areas I'm going to show you, you will have access to quite a lot of information, tools, freebies. Last week, we did an SOP for a huddle, things like that. Okay, so just make sure that you are part of all of these networks and pages and social media handles. Then you're going to go onto Instagram, same story, Spa Professionals Guild. It looks like this. That's why I put a screenshot for you. Please go like this page, okay, or follow. I think people follow Instagram and like Facebook. I need to get my story right. Then this is my little coaching online page that I'm just growing naturally as it goes. So it would be great for you to follow on there. I sometimes put extra little freebies, or I give you sneak peeks into what I'm preparing for one of the coaching sessions. So that one's called Spa Business Coach Online. Please go and follow that one. Okay, very importantly, go onto YouTube called Spa Professionals Guild. This is what it looks like. Subscribe to it. If you don't subscribe to it, you're going to forget to go and look. Okay, there's only one clip. We don't bombard you with junk. There's one clip that comes out every week, one little clip. It's like a minute long with some, I call them golden nuggets. Okay, because when we film it, we say we're filming golden nuggets this weekend. And it's one little business tip, or one little have you done this week, or one little reminder of something that as an owner or manager, you should be doing in your spa business. Okay. So go and subscribe here. Also, you will find today's recording on here. So you're going to go, you just need to give us a couple of hours. Shani, who runs the back end for us, she will take the recording off the cloud and she will load it up onto here so that you can also go back, by the way, and watch lots of different coaching sessions to maybe get some information from there. Okay, next, I want you all to get active on social media about this learning journey that you are on. Okay, and the reason for that is your clients, your staff, your team, they like to see that you are invested in growing and learning more. They really do. They don't see this as, oh, maybe this person's not sure about how to run a business, they're doing a course. No, that's not how they see this. They see this as, wow, this person wants to learn more. They want to pivot. They want to grow. They want to equip their toolbox with new tools that are happening in our industry. And clients love to see that the owners or the managers are invested in learning and in growth in their business. There's some gorgeous slides that you can take a picture of. Post them to social media. Please tag us and tell your clients what you're doing. Let them see that you're on this journey. Okay, so today is about staff, okay? And really my favorite slide that I have, or my favorite saying in this section, is that tough times don't last. They do eventually pass, but tough teams last forever, and no matter what. So I call this module the lifeline of your business, because yes, you need you as the owner. You need you because you run the bank account. Without money and without stock, there is no business. But without your staff in the business that you are in, doesn't matter how much money you have, doesn't matter how well prepared and what a brilliant business model you have. Without your staff, your business doesn't operate, run, move forward, or grow. So what am I trying to say by that? That you have to invest time, effort, and commitment into the same learning process that you have for yourself, for your staff. So I'm going to show you some amazing tools that are part of this module. But before I do that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about module 1. Okay, for those of you who are starting, even though we're not going in depth into what happens in module 1. But I do want you to see the 3 most common management challenges of module 1. And this is after 70 people have already been through it. Okay, and it's the 3 most common among the 70 people. 1 is time management. 2 is delegation. Managers and owners don't really like to delegate. They feel like it gets done better, quicker, more efficiently if they do it themselves. And 3, knowing your numbers daily. And what I mean by knowing your numbers is, what did you do in retail? What did you do in services? How many vouchers were sold? So being on top of that number or numbers in your business on an absolute daily basis. So I find, yes, owners and managers are on top of their numbers weekly sometimes or monthly, but not specifically daily. So can I ask any of you, do any of these 3 resonate with you? Do any of these 3 sound like they're your challenge? Time management, delegation, or knowing your numbers daily? Go into the chat box and let me hear. Do any of those sound like you? Okay, Nungo's saying time management. Hi, Sam. I'm glad you got on. Okay, Sam's saying delegation 100%. Okay, Lanil says most definitely. All of them. Yep. Okay. Anybody else? Any of those 3 sound like it could be your little shy? Time management. Nikita, time management. Interesting. Delegation. Okay. Very interesting. So not anymore, but I used to, yes, for the longest time. Fran, is that you who says not anymore? I think it's Fran. Nicola, time management. Yes, it's Fran. Okay, welcome, Fran. Lucia says time management. Michelle says delegation. Nicole says all of the above. Good Lord. So, Fran, can I ask you a question? You're saying not anymore, but used to be for the longest time. So what do you've done different? You can put it in the chat box or you can unmute. I'm not too sure if you are multitasking.
I'm going to unmute, but I'm walking out of
Okay.
the spa because I'm sitting on the desk. So I'm
That's
talking
fine.
in the foyer of the spa.
That's fine. So what changed, Fran, that you're saying all of these were and now they're not?
So it got to a point where the situation forced me to learn to delegate and to trust other people and to have to develop other people that reported to me or we worked together. But it wasn't a natural thing. I had to be pushed to the limit in order to do it. So that's why I said not anymore. I'll do it because obviously the situation and the tasks that we do is bigger than what one person can do. So we forced to delegate and to trust, and especially I had an issue with trust. I'm a perfectionist, and I always said, "Oh, no one will ever do it the way that I do." So I have to leave that perfectionism aside and be like, okay, but that's good for me, but how can I help that other person to see what I see? So it took some time. Obviously, it doesn't happen over in 2 weeks or so. It's a learning process. I mean, you know me for 10 years or 12 or 14 years, however many years. And only now I'm coming to this realization, but it's a constant work that I'm doing. Is I consciously have to push myself to delegate, for example. And to time management, obviously, I have to plan my life to the second. Otherwise, I won't be able to get to do what I have to do.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant. Thanks, Fran. Thanks for that.
Sure.
So one of the things that we obviously take you through in Module 1 to get an understanding of whether this is a challenge for you is we get you to do a time log for 3 days. The question is that we ask you, tell us where are your challenges and what are your issues? And exactly what Fran said is true. This isn't something that we're going to fix overnight. I don't have a magic wand for you, but we do have tools to help you to make your life easier. The only thing is we can only do so much. We can give you those tools, but if you don't implement them, then they are useless to you. Okay, so what we spend time doing in Module 1 is so important. Some people look at Module 1 and they get a bit frustrated because they want to jump straight into the tools, into Module 2 and get all those tools. But we're not going to do that. And I'll tell you why. Because unless we take some time and introspect and get you to fill in those questionnaires, fill in that time log, figure out what is your management style? What type of culture do you like in a business? Naturally, what culture do you like? And then what culture should you have in your spa business? So it's taking you through a process to try and figure out, we do various personality tests on you. So not just one of them, there's 3 different personality tests that we take you through. All of this becomes what I call a voyage of discovery for you. You start to sit back and say, okay, Flip, well, that's maybe why I say things the way I say it and why I do things the way I do it. Once you get to know the captain of the ship better, or what I call is once we build a more solid foundation, then we can take your spa business or your salon business and we can turn it into a skyscraper because that foundation is rock solid and it knows exactly how deep it goes and how solid it is. Okay. Okay. Oh, I think somebody's trying to get into the room. No. All right. So this is what Module 2 is all about. Okay. So we're going to really look at all the aspects. I'm not even going to work through this because I'm taking you through every single task of Module 2 now today. But what I do want to talk about Module 2 is there's 2 pictures that I love to show. You're welcome to take a screenshot of this, by the way, and use this as your social media post for today. But I like to compare your teams that you have, and if you don't have teams, I want you to look at this picture as you and your brand partners and your suppliers, because this is how everybody that is part of your business should operate. Like these ants, when they work together, everybody for the same common goal, then they're able to do something that at first sight looks impossible. I mean, an ant has to stand at the end there, and how does he get onto the other side? It looks impossible, but it's not. Why? Because it's everybody working together for a common goal. The next picture I love, these guys. If one of these guys rows a little bit too fast, a little bit too slow, gets a cramp in his leg, whatever the case happens to him, well, you know what? They go off course or they don't win. It's really as simple as that. So it's about keeping the team united, keeping the team as one, keeping the team for everybody working towards a common goal. And another thing, everyone, very important, and I must share this with you because it's come up a lot in the last month of me chatting to various spa owners and managers and then chatting to their therapists. Your team want to know what is going on in the business. They want to know if you're looking at a new brand. They want to know if you're looking for a new uniform. They want to be involved in the color, the style. They want to know if you're going to redo the treatment menu. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. The more you get your team involved in collectively making decisions, guess what? The better they're going to back you. So I'm not saying they must make your decisions for you. I'm saying you need their buy-in. And the sooner you can get them bought in willingly, remember, not forced, willingly, the better your outcome is going to be. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so I want to get this out of the way right now. And that is, what is your checklist for your entire journey with us? So number one is a commitment to getting the work done. And I keep saying that because I'm going to give you all the tools, but you need to do something with it. Number two is an open, positive, and energetic mindset. Embrace what you are going to see and learn. Some of it you might say, oh my word, that's ridiculous. No, that's not possible. You know what it is. And give it a shot, give it a try before you try and change it. And then decide, okay, it's worked for me or it hasn't worked for me. A can-do attitude, vitally important, okay? I want to address this now as well. We're all busy, and you know what? We're just going to get busier. But would you rather have an efficiently running busy business or a business that is busy, but you feel like a chicken without a head at all times? Which scenario would you like? I am more than sure you would all like an efficient, smooth running, busy business. And then quite importantly is hold yourself accountable. But I'm going to talk into accountability in a minute, okay? All right, so here come your tasks. This is to get you all excited, by the way. Okay, so the first task you're going to do is to sit down yourself with this piece of paper and write down what you think contributes to a positive attitude in the workplace. So whether this is that you all sing together in the morning, or you all have coffee together, or I don't know, it could be anything. I want you to sit down and think about what creates a positive attitude in the workplace. And if I were you, you know what I would do? I would give this task to each and every one of your team members, individually, privately. Put it in their pigeonhole or their locker and say, you've got a week, please get this back to me. And I'm telling you, you're going to be blown away by what your staff write down on this form. Okay, I love this exercise. Next one. I love this, okay? I don't know if anybody has looked at the video clips or the newsletters about the huddles, but staff huddles are a must, okay? They're a must, and they're a must on a daily basis. So the same way that you arrive at work, you stick the key in the door and you open the door and you put the lights on. That happens automatically, right? You go make coffee. I don't think you think about those processes. Now a huddle needs to be part of that same automatic process, Okay. Nicole, please tell me you guys are still doing huddles, because this really changed your staff morale. Can you unmute at all and let us know, or are you not able to? Oh, there we go. I don't think Nicole can chat to us out loud. What a pity. Okay, we do every day. So Nicole, while I'm chatting, will you put in there how this has changed your staff's morale and the way that the business operates and runs, because you never used to do huddles in the past, right? Okay, so while Nicole is typing away there, there's two things about this. It's a 5-minute meeting, not a 15, not a 20, not a 25. And if I were you, I would get a stopwatch with an alarm. And when that 5 minutes goes off, that meeting stops. Because let me tell you, for the first 5 days, that meeting will get cut down early. After that, you're going to be so concerned about finishing on time that you're going to get the important stuff over and done with. So I want you to do two things in this task. One is create an agenda for yourself. If you got the agenda that I gave in last week's newsletter, please don't cheat and use it. This is important that you try and create your own agenda before you get our agenda, okay? And two, okay, everybody, please listen carefully. I need you to record yourselves doing a staff huddle at least 3 or 4 times. And I'll tell you why. When you record it and you play it back, there's no more powerful coaching tool than that, and learning tool. Think about how sports coaches work. How do you think they work? They take the match that's been recorded, and straight after every match, they watch it with their team. And what do? They comment. You moved in too quick. You did this. You did that. I mean, I'm not a sports coach, but I have watched them do one of these after sessions. Now, you need to, as the owner and manager, and you can do it with your team or without your team. I would watch it alone first. Watch that huddle. And let me tell you what to look out for. 1, you look out for everybody's body language. 2, you look out for your body language, the person who's facilitating the meeting. Okay? 3, you look out for engagement. Who's engaged? Whoever's not engaged, there's something wrong. Either you're not engaging them or they have a problem. Now, by watching 3 or 4 recordings of a huddle, believe you me, you're going to get this huddle perfect, because you're going to make all those little tweaks to it until you get that huddle spot on. Okay, so Nicole says the huddle sets the tone for the day. 1000%. You have a huddle in the morning, and I want to tell you my huddle mantra is that it always ends with a song. Finished, no matter what. Every team member gets to choose a song, and for the last 60 seconds of that huddle, the last minute, is full blast music, and everybody jumping up and down. And you'll see, when each therapist gets to choose a song, believe you me, they all dance to it. And what happens when people dance? They get movement. What happens when they give movement? What hormones are released? Feel-good hormones. In fact, let me tell you that by the time I finish huddles in spas that we operate, everybody is on the biggest high you have ever seen in your life. It's like those feel-good hormones are popping out of their bodies. Now, you want that every day. You do. Okay. So you have to do these huddles as a matter of habit. Nicole says we usually keep it upbeat with a song and a dance. Sometimes we pray as a team. I love that. We set our daily goals, and we often get our girls to run the huddle. That's exactly what now Nicole's been through this. Nicole, you must have done this a year ago. Am I right? 12 months ago, you started this. They're still doing it today. So I wouldn't get your team to run it in the first month. No, you set the tone, you run it, you get them into it. Yeah, that's right, she says. Now, after that, you need to start handing over, and you say, right, tomorrow, Shai, you running the huddle. Next day, Laverne, you running the huddle. Next day, Lanil, you running the huddle. And so you go around your team and you get them to run the huddles. Now you're starting to delegate, to empower, and everybody starts to feel more part of this ship, okay, of this motor. Alrighty. I think I've got the point across about the huddles. Next, staff meetings. You'll see in the module, in the workbook, staff meetings are often dreaded by therapists. They are. When I've done interviews with therapists, they often say to me, it's boring, that they get crapped on all the time. All they hear is about the complaints. So now, what our goal is to turn your staff meetings into meetings that your staff cannot wait for every single week. Because yes, you do want to deal with the problems because you have to deal with them. But you want these meetings to be so sharp, so efficient, not just full of blabbering, that everybody can't wait to get to the staff meeting on a Friday. So again, I'm not going to give away too much at this point, but I want you to sit and think about an agenda. Okay, you'll read through the info that we've given you first, and then we give you some time to come up with an agenda. And once again, very importantly, please everybody, you have to record this meeting at least 2 or 3 times. And why? I promise you, you will probably either die of embarrassment or die of laughing fits when you watch your meeting being recorded, because you'll turn around and you'll say, oh my gosh, did I talk for that long? And did I carry on like that? And just what you're going to learn. I mean, I've often recorded meetings where I've said to myself, oh my goodness, my posture is revolting. I need to put my shoulders back, and even things like that. You pick up on different staff members' habits. Maybe somebody's got a pen habit, or now that's what you see in those recordings. And you can start to learn about your staff and about the style of your meetings from watching the recordings. Okay. Nicola, I always start my staff meetings with a fun quiz and some prizes. Always gets them in a good mood. Brilliant. Okay, I love that. It's awesome. Nicola, I would do the quiz and the prizes at the end to make them all listen and be awake and say, right, the quiz is going to be about what we talk about in the meeting. But I quite love that you get the vibe up and running. Okay, the next task is committing to some goals for your staff and for your business, okay? And for yourself. So this is quite important. It's called goal setting. And I think the point that I'm trying to make here is that I'm sure you all have your goals, right? The difference is, does everybody know what your goals are? Or are they here? Okay, now let me ask you this. How can the team be like those rowers, all be rowing together when they don't know what they're rowing for? How can they do that? So unless everybody knows each other's goals, you cannot possibly be operating as a team. Okay. So yeah, you think, well, they do know the goals. It's the business's target. Rubbish. That's not the goals. The goal is, okay, we want to buy a new machine by summer. We want to introduce a new pregnancy treatment by this. We want to start a new cellulite wrap by October, or a new slimming system or whatever. Now when everybody's like, whoa, okay, this is what we're all working towards. Okay. Or we want to have a nice a fancy dinner the one night. But to get to that dinner, we need to achieve X, Y, and Z. Okay, the next one is therapist targets. Now, I'm hoping, please go into the chat box, who has targets for the staff, or are they running willy-nilly, whatever they bring in? Because often people will say to me, well, Marisa, I don't really know how to set targets for my staff. Okay, so this specific task will help you to come up with, now we give it a formula, but the formula is not always right, because if you don't have a business with history, that formula ain't going to work. But it will tell you more or less at where your therapist should be and how much revenue they should be bringing in so that your business can be supported. Okay, Fran says, yes, targets, of course. Nicole says, we do, great. Nicola says, we have treatment targets. Oh, Nicola, I think you and I are going to chat about retail targets soon. That's going to be great. Yay. Okay. Nikita says we have, oh, I lost you here. Daily, weekly, monthly targets with rewards when reached. Love it. Shah, we have targets. Average docket value based on being booked. Awesome. Samantha, daily targets that is calculated within the revenue and budget. Okay, awesome. So that's great. So I think what's nice about the spreadsheet as well is to go and see if the calculation, retail minimum of 40 units, love it, Shah. If the calculation matches more or less what your targets are that you're given. And if they don't, then my suggestion is, okay, have whatever targets the owner needs, right? But why not put in a different set of targets? A set of targets that everybody really pushes themselves. And sometimes you just never know. They might just reach for the skies and surprise you. Okay. The next one is the courses and training that you have attended. Now, the reason I put this in here is very important. And in fact, I'd like to ask each of you on this call, when last did you as the manager, and be honest, everyone, okay, nobody's going to get any hidings or anything here. When last did you as the manager or owner attend product training of the brands that you stock in your business? Not your staff. I think you're all pretty good at that. When did you as owner or manager last attend? Good, Nicola. Good on you. Tuesday. Haven't. Last week. Good, Fran. Lucia, you have. You attended like 2 weeks ago, one of my trainings. When we brought in a new brand in June, last week, May 21st. Okay, so brilliant. Now, the point I'm going to make here is that you as owner or manager need to make sure that you are attending your product houses trainings at least once a year. Okay, that's not a lot. If you have 5 brands, that's 5 trainings a year, or you can take it over an 18-month period. And let me explain to you why. Because the owner or manager, when they attend training, they attend it through a different set of eyes. Your therapists attend training with their clients in mind. Okay? So hear me out, everyone. You attend training with the business and growth in mind. And that's the difference. Okay. You're not sitting there to try and understand how this ingredient works and how it penetrates into the skin and blah, blah. No, that's not why you attend. You attend because it gives you ideas, inspiration, motivation. Also, you get to know those products. And if your therapist, and you, for example, see that the one product isn't specifically moving, and you think, but this product is amazing, you can give a different angle on how to sell it, on how to present it, or you can show them how it's done for that matter. Okay, but it is vital that you as owners and managers attend trainings. Okay, this is just an example for you to have a look and see just at a glance what one of the sheet looks like. Okay, that helps you to set targets. Now, for us, the way that we set targets is we start by saying what retail percentage are you aiming for? So this green block at the top here is most important. If your business wants a 30% retail ratio, you'll put that 30% in the top there and it changes the numbers. Okay, I'm hoping that you want a 40 or a 50% retail ratio because that's really going to stretch you and give you massive growth. Okay. Next one. Please, may I ask how many of you have opening and closing checklists for your therapist in place? So that means that if I come into your spas today or tomorrow and I go into your therapist treatment rooms and I open their door, in every single treatment room, I will find a checklist that is valid for a week, that is ticked of everything that that therapist needs to do, morning, opening, and closing checklists. Who has them in place? Please let me know. I'd love to hear who has therapist checklists in place. Yo, Nicole, well done. Okay, so Nicole, here's my question to you. How many times do you as managers or owners check those checklists? Let's hear. How many times do you check the checklist?
hear me?
Yes.
You can. Okay, sorry, I was struggling earlier. So, so we weren't getting to it, right? And then things weren't getting done. And despite the fact that we had the checklists and so on, and then there was conflict, and then it was a drama, okay, as it normally is. So we have now got a back of house within the therapist's manager that runs just that. And what then happens is, so now what we decided to do is promote her to that. So she runs the on the ground stuff, because we don't get to see everything. You know, we don't see it from, like you said earlier, when you're looking at products, you know, they're looking at it from a treatment perspective or client perspective. We look at it from a different angle. Same with that, exactly that. You know, when we go and we look at things and so on, we don't see what's happening on the ground. So what we now do is she does all of that, and then we oversee her, and it's worked wonders.
Better?
Yeah, she puts the right tasks in place with the right therapists, because we were also allocating certain things, and then some therapists are absolutely terrible at doing it, or they keep on forgetting, and then so she allocated the right things to the right therapists, and yeah, it all boils down to delegation again.
Nice. I'm loving that. I'm loving the growth that your operational growth is like amazing. Seriously, well done.
Thanks.
Okay, so everybody, exactly what Nicole said was going to be my next point, is that it doesn't matter if you've got these checklists in place. Somebody can just go and tick them. If somebody else, i.e. owner, manager, like now Nicole's given somebody, head therapist, call it whatever you want to. If somebody else is not checking up, it's still not going to get done. Okay, so the checklist is there for a reason. But again, until it becomes habit, and until the therapists get used to the fact that somebody's checking on them, they're not going to complete those checklists correctly. Okay. So Shah says, we do a procedure for recording consumables required. We try to allocate each person their own tools, no sharing. Love it. We also have a leave it the way you found it rule. So housekeeping keeps everything pristine, but if a therapist uses an area, she must ensure it is left in the same way. Great. So these checklists are more procedures of what has to happen in the morning as soon as they arrive for their shift, and what has to happen for when they leave their shift. It's called an opening and closing checklist. And they are COVID tweaked as well, you know, just to make sure that COVID protocols are being followed. But they really, really are important. So what I want to say to those of you who either don't have them, or like Sam, we have them but are not consistent, there's no need to blush, Sam. And there's no need for any of you who don't have them to be embarrassed about it. That is what this community, this training, this course, and what we're all here to do is to support each other through this process and make sure that slowly you implement this. Okay, but the point I want to make is that it needs to get done at some point in time. And keep your eye on that goal. Efficiently running busy business. That's what you want. Not a business that you're continuously running around putting out fires. Okay, this is vitally important. I don't know how many of you have done these personality assessments or personality tests on your staff, on every single member of staff, by the way, from cleaner to whatever it is. Every single member of staff, including yourself as owner and manager, needs to do these. You'll do them all in module 1. Module 2 is more handing them over to the staff. And as an owner or manager, you do more than one assessment, okay? Because you've got a different role. So we get you to do a more involved and more technical personality assessment. For your staff, it's more, how do they communicate? Where are their strengths? So that you can put them in the right place. Because the last thing you want is to put a really shy, caring, super caring person, very well spoken, but extremely shy at front desk. That is not going to work for that person. Okay, that's a great therapist, yes, but definitely not at front desk. Okay, I love these. I like to do them every 6 months to a year because people's personalities change as they have children, as they mature, as their hormones change, especially in women. They tend to change a little bit, not too much. I mean, inherently, the way somebody is born is the way they're born, but the more they hang around other people and the more they communicate and learn and grow in themselves, their personalities start to adapt and take shape a little bit more. Shai says, this is lovely. We need to do this. Yes, you do. I think we did it with you many moons ago. Hey, Shai? So I think it's time to do it again for sure. Okay. Next, this is Lanil's favorite tool. Who has practiced a praise sandwich ever? Who has practiced a praise sandwich? Who knows what a praise sandwich is, by the way? Lanil says for sure. Fran says me. Who's practiced a praise sandwich? Anybody done a praise sandwich before? Nicole, I do it with my husband all the time. That's hysterical. Does it work, Nicole? I don't know if this works with the men so well, but anyway. Works like a dream, okay. Lindy says me, oh good. Lanil says it does. Okay, so a praise sandwich is as follows. Some of us are not very good at doing praise sandwiches. We did this with Michelle. Oh, beautiful. Time to do it again. So I was really bad at praise sandwiches. In fact, I didn't even know what a praise sandwich was because my personality is when somebody does something wrong, it's quite simple. We talk about it. We discuss how you can improve and cheers, life goes on. Okay, that's how I am. However, not everybody that I come into contact with or that I manage or that I work with is the same as me. People are sensitive and people can really take offense at just being told that they've done something wrong. So as hard as it was for me, I have finally learned in my young age, I was going to say my old age, but I'm not old. In my young age, I've learned the art of crapping somebody out, excuse the way I'm putting it, but that's what it is, in a way that they love it, that they actually feel motivated when we're done with a crap out session. And let me tell you something, it is liberating, even though it took me very long how to learn how to do this. So we take you, and this is especially for all those personality types out there who are very strong D personalities. Kim, I don't know if you're still on the call, but this is for your mom especially. It would help a lot when it comes to managing your team because you really get the best out of them. And really how it works is the feedback, the constructive feedback, or the crapping out, as I call it, is the sandwich part. Okay, that goes in the middle. You don't start with that. You start with positive feedback. Okay, you do the correction or constructive feedback, and then you end with positive feedback again. Okay, this is our game plan. This is our action plan. All right. So we get you to do a few praise sandwiches and we teach you the art of doing and practicing a praise sandwich. Shai does a deconstructed praise biryani. I love that. Recognizing good, bad, and letting the person know in the moment. You call it I must find a praise biryani picture. I'm going to find one, put it in here. Okay. The next task that you learn is super involved. Okay. Those of you with very strong C personalities are going to love this. And those of you with very strong D personalities are absolutely going to hate this task. Okay. Because it is the art of negotiation going through 4 different steps. And the stronger types of personalities want to get down to action immediately. They don't want to have to go through via. Okay, whereas the C personality gets this very well. because they understand that there's a process to getting to where they need to. And how this works is with your staff. So when there's a challenge in the workplace, instead of cutting to the chase and just dealing with it, it's more of going through a technique where almost it's a voyage of discovery for them. They figure out on their own what they've done wrong, how to fix it, without you needing to go through the process of correction. Okay, so this really is amazing. Yay for C-types. Yes, Fran, you and Nicole, I'm sure absolutely love this. All right, then. You thought the task was dreadful. Oh, good, Nicole. So I'm not the only one, hey? And you part the C person and you thought it was dreadful. Okay, good. Glad to hear that, actually. Anyway, once you start practicing that task more and more and more and more, it does get a little bit easier and it does start to become a bit more natural. But like with anything, if you don't keep at it, you forget how to do it. Then practicing delegation, we go through this in detail because I really want to explain something to all of you out there that don't like delegating. So can I have a show of hands, or just go into the chat box and say me, me, me? Who feels sometimes that the task will get done better if they do it themselves? Who feels that? Fran, always, I do. Okay. Who? Lucia, me. Who else? Who feels that they don't delegate that much because it's the perfectionist in me? Sorry, it's the truth. It's bad, I know, but it's the truth. Okay. Fran, you don't have to justify it. Me, if it's in my skill set, from Anna Marie. Okay. Me with my deep personality. Okay. I can't with myself sometimes. Fran is so funny. All right. So I want to tell you something about this delegation thing. Do you know why? And you're going to learn it more in the module. Why often delegation fails with most leaders? Bottom line, why delegation fails with most leaders? Can anybody guess that? And it's not about the perfectionism. It's not about the depersonality. It really isn't. That's what leaders think it's about. Okay, I'm just telling you because I'm in the same boat as all of you. But that's not the reality of it. I got a big wake-up call when I was explained, and I have finally made peace with it, and I do understand it and I get it. Okay, and the only time you will come right with delegation is when you embrace that you, the person delegating, are the problem. Bottom line. Okay, so does anybody know why leaders fail at delegation? Nobody's answering me. Anyone? Jody, you need to surround yourself with competent people. Lucia, trust. No. Well, yes, Jody is correct. You do need to surround yourself with competent people in case someone else does it better. No, because we don't really want to delegate it in the first place. Number one, yeah. Choosing the right person and leave them alone. No. Okay, I'm going to tell you why leaders fail at delegation, because they don't do it properly. And I'll tell you why. Leaders delegate as if, with the instructions, as if they were delegating to themselves. Okay, and let me give you a classic example. I'm going to delegate to Shai that she must fry an egg. Now I'm going to use a very silly example. Okay, I say, Shai, I'd like you to fry an egg. Done. Okay, now let me tell you what the problems with that delegation are. Okay, number one, I didn't tell her what time I wanted the egg fried by. I didn't say, Shai, I want the egg fried by 10. Problem number one, and this is all covered in your module, by the way. Number two, I didn't tell her how I want it fried. Do I want it sunny side up? Do I want it soft? Do I want it hard? Didn't say that. I didn't say, do I want it fried with butter? Do I want it fried with oil? I didn't tell her who the egg was for. Didn't say that. I didn't say to her why I want a fried egg. I didn't tell her why I want the fried egg. Now, so can you see what the problem there is? But let me tell you what the leaders think. and all of you are going to laugh when you hear this. The leaders assume that everybody else should know what they're talking about. Yes or no? Be honest, guys. Am I right? Okay. So I'm going to give you now an example that probably irritates most of you. You say to your therapist, clean the room. Okay. So hear me out, everyone. Clean the room. You come an hour later, the room's not cleaned. And she says, but Flip, I didn't know you wanted it cleaned in an hour. Problem number one, you didn't tell her by when you wanted the room cleaned. Okay. Number two, you start opening drawers and checking under the bed and you see some hair under the bed and you start freaking out. You didn't say that you wanted the floor mopped, swept. You wanted the wax pot spotless. You wanted new linen. Can I tell you why? Because you assumed it as a leader. Okay. So the point that we make in this delegation exercise is so critical, everyone, is that you got to stop assuming. And that is why our delegations as owners and managers fail, because number one, we don't delegate to a level of competency. So that's where Jodie's comment comes in. If I tell Shah to fry an egg, but she doesn't know the first thing about cooking, who's the problem here? Me delegating it or her? It's me. I'm telling her to fry an egg when she doesn't know how to cook. Okay, so be careful of that. You can only delegate something to somebody's level of competence. Number two, is everything about your task clear? When, where, how, and why? Think about it. Okay. So, I mean, when you go through the workbook, you'll understand so much better. And let me tell you, this is going to liberate you a lot in your businesses. Okay. I'm not keeping up with this chat box. Anyway, enjoy chatting, everyone. Next, I'm almost done, everybody, is my absolute most favorite tool of all. And I am praying that somebody on this call is using this and it's working for them. Okay. And this is the Therapist Daily Revenue Planner. So let me ask you something. How many I feel like I need to say sorry to my staff, Samantha. No, you don't. You don't. You need to start delegating properly from today. Don't go back and say sorry, okay? How many of you's team plans how they're going to make their daily target? I know you give them target. How many of them, Fran, I know you do. Hello, you're the master of this planner. Fran, are you able to talk and tell people how powerful this tool is? And maybe you can't talk. Okay, Daily Planner is the best, he says. Okay. I
can talk if you want to.
Yes, please. Fran, I mean, you know that this is my favorite tool. You know it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's better that everybody hears from you and not from me. Why this is so powerful?
So when we started implementing it, obviously everybody looks at you as if you are a lunatic. Like, why would this work? Because obviously they only see the treatment booked on the column, and that's what they stick to. So this plan, it's something, again, that you gotta work hard at it. You gotta request it. You gotta make sure that it gets shared. You gotta make sure that it gets completed, and it's almost, you have to use a very critical eye. Otherwise, they will they will just go for the obvious sort of upsell and stuff. So how it works is a very simple exercise where you actually get to do what you have booked already on the day, but Marisa will explain it now, what you have booked for the day, and then what possibilities you can add to this original treatment or value of the treatments to increase your docket value. So it could be an upsell, could be an add-on, could be retail, could be all of it, and how you're going to do it. And for each client and each treatment that each client has, we have to have a plan for that specific treatment. So obviously this links to how your treatment menu is and how you add on an upsell treatment is. Otherwise, the girls can't see the possibility and the capacity that they have. So all you got to do is to teach them and show them a bit of the possibility that how much bigger it can become. And this is basically the testimony of that possibility.
Great. Thank you, Fran. Thanks. So I want to tell you a few things about this planner. Number one is it has to be done consistently every single day. Number two, owners and managers, you have to help your team to plan for at least the first month. They won't understand what this planning thing is. They'll think, like Fran said, this looks ridiculous. Okay. Once you hold their hand and you do their planner with them for 5-10 days solidly, they start to understand the value and the power of this planner. And then for those of you who have been doing it for a while, so Nicole says we do it and it works like a charm if implemented correctly. So there's something that as owner or manager, you have to go back every 6 months and have a look at, because your staff might become like robots, copy, paste, and therapist personalities are copy, paste personalities, finished. That's what they are. And the only person who's able to take the copy, paste out of the therapist is the leader, but you have to do it. Okay. And how do you do that? Is you go back and you tweak it. And I'll tell you how, is by looking at the detail and giving them ideas and saying, hold on a sec, you seeing Mr. Fenter today. How come, why don't you offer Mr. Fender back exfoliation before his massage, upsell there? And then I don't see that you added on some skincare. You put all body products in his recommendation, but what about some skincare for him? Add some in. Okay, so by you constantly going back and checking and constantly reevaluating, you get your therapist to relook at those tasks and this planner in a different way. Okay, I used to make them WhatsApp it to me and suggest that they could guide them. Awesome. I mean, Shai, the WhatsApp thing works. I've now changed my mind about the WhatsApp thing. Well, they need to write it down. Okay, and I like them to write it down with a paper and a pen, old school. And why? Because we spend so much time on electronics and digital everything that by having a pen and a paper in hand, they think a little bit more before they write, because Tipex is a pain in the butt to use. Okay, so it really does work nicely. Then a therapist earning calculator. I love this. I love to sit down and I do this with a therapist and I say to them, right, let's look at how much you could potentially earn. They look at this sheet and they go, oh my gosh, no ways. I actually don't believe this. So this is quite a nice little task to get them excited and motivated. And then there's also a lovely little easy questionnaire. All our questionnaires, by the way, are self-discovery questionnaires. So by us asking you the question and you answering it, you actually discover things that need to be either corrected or implemented or changed by yourself. Okay. I totally love this exercise, totally love it. And I give you examples of how to change your mindsets in your business. Okay. I don't know how many of you attended the session on abundance mindset that I did once. There's also a module of abundance mindset, or a chapter on changing mindset. But really, if you change how you think, and you know that I'm very big on the words and the wording that we use. And if you change how you think, it can actually change how the whole ship operates. Okay. Right. And then again, I wanted to chat into accountability for a minute. And I want to show you a very powerful video clip about accountability. Okay. I love this quote. And it says, accountability is not consequences, but it's ownership. It's a character trait, a life stance, a willingness to own your actions and results regardless of the circumstances that you're in. Okay, this is so powerful. It's just own it. Okay, without excuses, without there was traffic, without there was this, without there's everybody's canceling their appointments. That's not what accountability is about. Okay, then check this video clip. Super powerful. Enjoy it. Listen carefully to this.
In a high-performance team, accountability matters as much as anything else people do on the job, because it means that every single member of the team has made a personal commitment to meet or exceed the goals of the organization. It's not a bullet point on our job description or our resume. It's a mentality embodied by every member of a high-performance team. And in this type of cultural environment, people never stop asking themselves, what else can I be doing to help the team accomplish its mission? To be successful, creating and protecting the right organizational culture is not an option. It's an absolute necessity. I think you guys are doing a pretty good job of that. You know, a team culture is either decisively created and nurtured over time, or more typically it comes about a bit haphazardly over time through the beliefs, actions, experiences of those on the team. But either way, accountability has to be real. If I drop the ball, make a mistake, fail to meet my goals, or fail to support a team member, it's not about saying, oh, my bad, that's on me, I'll do better next time, and then I never change my behavior. It's about checking myself every step of the way to ensure I'm doing everything in my power to help the team accomplish its mission. Every case study I've ever seen on this subject points to the same thing. A culture of accountability has a direct correlation to the bottom line. Nothing else matters without it. Poring over financial data does not. Improving systems and processes does not. Technology, even sales. Because if people don't care enough, or they're not holding themselves and others accountable to accomplish the mission, then execution is going to falter anyway. And creating a great organizational culture first has to start with alignment. That's achieved through participation. The culture of accountability has to start with alignment from the people at the very top and the leaders throughout the entire organization. Defining the decision makers. When it comes to creating a great culture, a leader-led model is best. And I'm talking about leaders at all levels. Listening to feedback. Well, it might be the leaders owning the actual framework of creating that culture. It's imperative we get feedback from the team to ensure we make the best possible decisions. The team's voice must be heard. Extreme ownership. The leaders set the tone, but we all have to take ownership over the decisions made and directives given. Consistency. It takes a consistent and deliberate effort to create and maintain a great organizational culture. And follow through. This, of course, is the most important of all, because without it, nobody's really going to believe in the mission. The more time we spend holding ourselves accountable to meeting our goals, exceeding our goals, doing our jobs, and even more importantly, supporting our fellow team members, the less time we spend chasing each other around, pointing fingers, and holding one another accountable. And that increases speed, efficiency, and morale.
How amazing is that? I mean, I like that video clip, totally blows my mind. Okay, and let me tell you what I love about them, the words that continuously not haunt me, but keep making me think, is that accountability, everybody's ability to hold themselves accountable directly reflects in your bottom line. That is like, oh my gosh, okay. All right, your communication methods in our community is we have a WhatsApp group. If anybody is not on the WhatsApp group and you would like to be part of it, please just let me know and I will add you on. There's email that gets sent out. So if you're not getting our newsletters, let me know too, but once a week you get a newsletter. And then remember on that YouTube channel, one video clip. And then we have a members only Facebook group that is quite important and quite great because that's where we communicate quite a bit on there. Okay, here is that group. So if you're not on it, please go to SPG Members Lounge and request access, and then the admin's going to have to give you access to that. Okay, so we've got coaching dates. You all know, twice a month. For those of you who don't know, twice a month we meet to get coaching from an external coach, a subject that I feel is important for us to deal with at that particular time. So the next time we see each other is on the 17th of August. Okay, and then twice a month. So 17th and 31st of August. So our next person coming to chat to us, but I'll post that later on, is Andy. So you all know he is part of the community. He's been opening Six Senses in Ibiza. Lucky bum, he's in Spain. And I've asked him to please come and chat to us about resilience and setting up. He's basically opened a business in the middle of a pandemic. And I wanted him to share with us how he's maintained not only his composure, but his staff, because he has, I don't know, a ton of staff. And I think that we can all learn and get a lot of valuable tips from him about that. Okay. And then last but not least, our word. You all know we have a word every year. And this year's word is movement. Movement. Okay. Because movement keeps us going every single day, every single minute, every single year, every single month. So just keep moving. And when you feel like you can't, you know that that word is forbidden in our community, you can. One step in front of the other. No matter how slow you go, the point is keep going. Okay. Radio. And that, everybody, is module 2. So how do you feel about it when you've listened to it? How do you feel about module 2? Does it excite you? Can you not wait to get cracking? Go into the chat box and let me know. How do you feel about module 2? And then I am sure that I'm seeing most of you on this call next week. Okay. When we start up with module 1. It is great. Anna Marie says it is great. Superb. Okay, everyone. So let me know. Gonna shake things up. Yes, Lucia. Nice. Now it's time to implement all the tools, hey? It's time to get cracking, everyone. Okay, everyone, let me hear. We're starting again. Yes, Shah. It's the best. It's the most excited now. That's what I wanted, just to get you excited, ready to get cracking again. And it's brilliant. Super, super. Okay, everyone, give me your checkout word for today. Just one word to describe how you're feeling after our meeting. And then we're done, and we'll chat again on Tuesday. To those of you that are starting up, we'll chat on Tuesday. Motivated. Lucia, I hope it's nice and warm where you are. Shine, new beginnings. Yes. Nikita, excited. Good. Me too. So hot, you lucky bum, Lucia. Fabulously motivated. Love that, Anna Marie. Nicola, excited. Lindy, empowered. Oh, I love these words. Okay. Love them, love them, love them. More words, more words, more words. Samantha, excited. Awesome. Good, good, good. Okay, everybody, have the most amazing weekend. Go and make buckets of money and make all your clients feel like magical queens and kings, because that's what's important. Okay, so go and have the best time ever. Have the biggest, best weekend, and I'll see you all on Tuesday. Well, most of you on Tuesday. Okay. Ciao. Cheers. Nicole, thanks for joining Cookie Looks. Love you lots.